Christ is in our midst. Welcome to Spiritual Calisthenics. Today, on February 21st, we commemorate St. Timothy the Righteous, St. John III, Patriarch of Constantinople, St. Eustathius, Bishop of Antioch, and Zachariah, Patriarch of Jerusalem. Regarding St. Eustathius, Patriarch of Antioch, St. Eustathius, the great defender of piety and an illustrious opponent of Arianism, was from the Scythia in Pamphylia. He became Bishop of Borea, present-day Aleppo, and in 325 was present at the First Ecumenical Council. From there he was transferred to the throne of Antioch. But St. Constantine the Great, led astray by the slanders directed against the saint by the Arians, banished him to Trajanopolis in Thrace, where he reposed in 337, according to some. Others say he lived until 360. O God of our fathers, ever dealing with us according to your gentleness, take not your mercy away from us, but by their entreaties guide our life in peace. This Cheese Fair Tuesday, we read from St. Jude's first universal letter. So Jude, Judas, is not Judas Iscariot. This Jude was a half-brother of Jesus Christ, one of the children of Joseph the betrothed. Jude, a servant of Jesus Christ and brother of James. So this was Jacobus, who is another child of Joseph. To those who are called, beloved in God the Father, and kept for Jesus Christ, may mercy, peace, and love be multiplied to you. Beloved, being very eager to write to you of our common salvation, I found it necessary to write, appealing to you to contend for the faith which was once for all delivered to the saints. For admission has been secretly gained by some who long ago were designated for this condemnation, ungodly persons, who pervert the grace of our God into licentiousness and deny the only Master of our Lord Jesus Christ. Now, what he means by this is that there are people that have entered into Christian churches pretending to be Christian, but they're actually agents of deceit, led astray by the devil. They are people that are trying to subvert the faith, and this was prophesied about. So it's not that they were foreordained to do this, that they are, don't have agency. They have agency. This has just been prophesied that they're going to do this. Now I desire to remind you, though you were once for all fully informed, that the Lord saved a people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed those who did not believe. And the angels that did not keep their own position but left their proper dwelling have been kept by him in eternal chains in the nether gloom until the judgment of the great day. Just as Sodom and Gomorrah and the surrounding cities, which likewise acted immorally and indulged in an unnatural lust, serve as an example by undergoing a punishment of eternal fire. Meaning that we're cognizant of the judgment that is to come. And that those, even if we were considered beloved of God, if we turn on God, if we do this, then we will be guilty and judgment will be rendered to us. Yet in like manner, these men in their dreamings defile the flesh, reject authority, and revile the glorious ones. But when the archangel Michael, contending with the devil, disputed about the body of Moses, he did not presume to pronounce a reviling judgment upon him, but said, "The Lord rebuke you." But these men revile whatever they do not understand, and by those things they know by instinct as irrational animals, they are destroyed. So in other words, because they give into lusts and these things, they will be destroyed themselves by the acts themselves. It's very, very sad. Continuing with the Gospel according to St. Luke. At that time when Jesus came out, he went as was his custom to the Mount of Olives, and the disciples followed him. And when he came to the place, he said to them, "Pray that you may not enter into temptation." And he withdrew from them about a stone's throw, and knelt down and prayed, "Father, if you are willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done." Now the cup that he's talking about is crucifixion, death, torture. This is showing Jesus Christ is very much a human being, because no human being wants to suffer torture in this way. No human being wants to die in this way. But Jesus Christ is showing us how we are to behave by immediately following up with, "Nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done." This is why in the Lord's Prayer we see, "Thy will be done." So Christ is praying. He's praying for strength. And when he rose from prayer, he came to the disciples and found them sleeping for sorrow. And he said to them, "Why do you sleep? Rise and pray that you may not enter into temptation." While he was still speaking, there came a crowd, and the man called Judas, one of the 12, was leading them. He drew near to Jesus to kiss him, but Jesus said to him, "Judas, would you betray the Son of Man with a kiss?" And when those who were about to him saw what would follow, they said, "Lord, shall we strike with the sword?" And one of them struck the slaves of the high priest and cut off his right ear. But Jesus said, "No more of this," and touched his ear and healed him. Then Jesus said to the chief priests and officers of the temple and elders who had come out against him, "Have you come out against a robber with swords and clubs? When I was with you day after day in the temple, you did not lay hands on me. But this is your hour and the power of darkness." Then they seized him and led him away, bringing him into the high priest's house. Peter followed at a distance, and when they had kindled a fire in the middle of the courtyard and sat down together, Peter sat among them. Then a maid, seeing him as he sat in the light, and gazing at him, said, "This man was also with him." But he denied, saying, "Woman, I do not know him." And a little later someone else saw him and said, "You are also one of them." But Peter said, "Man, I am not." And after an interval of about an hour, still another insisted, saying, "Certainly this man was also with him, for he is a Galilean." But Peter said, "Man, I do not know what you are saying." And immediately while he was still speaking, the cock crowed. And the Lord turned and looked at Peter. And Peter remembered the word of the Lord, how he had said to him, "Before the cock crows today, you will deny me 3 times." And he went out and wept bitterly. Now the men who were holding Jesus mocked him and beat him. They also blindfolded him and asked him, "Prophesy, who is it that struck you?" And they spoke many other words against him, reviling him. When they came, the assembly of the elders and the people gathered together, both the chiefs and the scribes, and they led him away to their council. And they said, "If you are the Christ, tell us." But he said to them, "If I tell you, you will not believe. And if I ask you, you will not answer. But from now on the Son of Man shall be seated at the right hand of the power of God." And they all said, "Are you the Son of God then?" And he said to them, "You say that I am." And they said, "What further testimony do we need? We've heard it ourselves from his own lips." Then the whole company of them rose and brought him before Pilate. I hope that you've enjoyed today's spiritual calisthenics. Have a blessed and wonderful day.